And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Steam for Thursday, September 28th. I'm Ramon Scott, joining you for an NFL Thursday tonight with a great division matchup with the Packers and the Lions. We maybe know what the public's thinking, but what am I thinking? Hopefully, that's what you're here to find out, but I want to know what you're thinking in the chat. So, as always, I welcome your picks and I want to flash them on the screen. I want you to be on record so you can show your family and friends when it all comes down after the game, right? Who were you on? Well, you could always just show them a winning ticket. That works as well. How'd you guys do last night with Major League action? And what about some of the events that transpired last night? And where does it leave us heading into the final 4 days of the season? Man, there is some excitement still to come over these few days in Major League Baseball. And we'll talk NFL, of course, but at the end of the show, I'll go over my early NFL action here for the morning games, give you a pick on each game and a little preview. So we make some videos and have some content up there from me. But just want to let everybody know that Ben Ruhala is on record on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel with picks on, I think, all the games. I saw a bunch of videos in there being uploaded. So Ben's got handicaps for you, and you'll want to check those out on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel as well. But I'll have NFL coverage today. I'll also talk about the 3 college football games. Today, if you didn't know, there are 3 college games, or maybe just a typical Thursday card without any real shine, but definitely have some conference games getting underway here. Thursday night action. We'll talk about all 3 of those games, and we'll talk Major League Baseball. Maybe almost all the games have a little bit of significance, and we'll at least touch on each of them and try to update. Even as I came on the show, some lines were just starting to come out for a couple of the games that I didn't even have time to put the graphic in. And we'll do it for Thomas. We'll type it in so we can hear me banging on the keyboard a little bit. Hello, guys. Hello to my friends in the chat, including Thomas. And R. Thompson's here. How you been? And Blake and Matt. And hopefully more as well. Let a few more people come in, but I'll go over to tonyspicks.com and check out who did what on Wednesday. We know it's kind of a slow day, is mostly of Major League Baseball, and well, I guess the other feature was the U.S. Open Cup soccer. Messi didn't play. Didn't they say didn't play the game before, so he could play in this game, but he couldn't play in this game. And Miami lost to Houston. Pretty good franchise, right? They've won it before. They've had pretty good success. So Houston wins the U.S. Open Cup. There was NHL preseason, just kind of a slow day, but it was all about Major League Baseball yesterday. And let's take a look at how the handicappers did over at tonyspicks.com. Hello to Solo. Yeah, we're going to bring winners your way, hopefully today. Bunch of free winners coming up. Let's take a look, though, and plug the paid plays, because, well, I got to keep doing that for sure right now. Let's take a look. Hey, here's at the top of the charts yesterday, Nick Bartini. He has been hot, and he went 5-0 yesterday. He's the face of PlatinumCappers.com, and he won all 5 of his plays yesterday. Mindy Hahn, the Midwest Premier Sports Handicapper, went 3-0 yesterday with her premium picks on Tony'sPicks.com. Hollywood Sam went 2-0-1. Tony T, it's his site. He went 2-0. And Tiffany Mance, also 3-1. Great day for the Cappers. Joseph Schultz won his only play. Collins Brown up there. The VIP account up there, 2-1 also. Hey, there I am. I'm at the bottom. Well, I'm at the bottom of the Cappers at 1. 2-1. A measly 2-1 compared to the Cappers at Tony'sPicks.com. Great job, everybody. A winning day. over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off our premium picks. Hey, if you're doing fine, you're picking winners, I'll help you out here as best I can as well. But if not, hey, check out some premium picks. Why not pick up a day's worth of package or a 3-day and let a capper set you straight? How about my picks over the last 7 days here? These are all documented on our website. We are third-party documented. The plays come in graded. Once you enter them in, I can't edit them. I can't change them. They give you 5 minutes to strike it from the record before it goes live, right? In case you typed in the wrong team. We've done that. But once it goes live, there's no turning back. And I'm 28-9-2 over the last 7 days. That's pretty serious, you guys, in this industry. I know we all have winning streaks. Hey, I say, why sell picks when you can crush? Well, why not do both? 28-9-2 over the last 7 days, 17.5 units of profit. Nick Vartini, I told you he's been hot. There it is. You see it right there. Almost 11 units. Collins Brown crushing as well. Hollywood Sam also real hot right now. And over the last 30 days, Collins is on top of the handicapper leaderboard, up 21-21. That's very impressive. Tony T has absolutely been hot well over 30 days now as I continue to comment on it. Over the last 30 days, though, Tony there, 1408. I'm up there, 12.75 units over the last month. And Nick Vartini as well, Sean Dinwiddie. Click on the Premium Picks tab. That's where you'll find all of our premium picks, including packages from the crew today, 3-day, 5-day, 7-day. Props are coming. Packages of props are coming from the group here. We're getting those squared away. You said you wanted props. We heard you, and we're going to give them. We're going to give them to you. So be on the lookout for that. 3 packs here. Nick Vartini, Collins Brown has a 5-pack, and Ben Ruhala has a 3-pack, including the NFL game tonight. Ben Ruhala, we'll mention, I know we got Detroit guys in here, a lot of days here in the chat. Ben Ruhala also Detroit specialists, if you will, the home team. So Ben will have great insight, I'm sure, on that game. $15 picks from the crew as well. Tony T's got his up there. And best bets from Joseph Schultz and Nick Lagaretos today over at Tony'sPicks.com. Also, Ben Ruhala probably's got best bets up there as well in college football and NFL for this weekend. All right. Thanks for listening to that, folks. And thanks for your subscriptions. And like I said, for some reason, when I'm hot, the sales go up. I don't know why that is. Hello to Ray. And hello to Nathan as well. I'm the last something, and M looks. Want to say, you guys, thank you for sticking with me. And I think, it's obvious what we're doing here with the show. I mean, giving out some pretty serious winners. This is a free show. We're going to get some clunkers in there as well. I'm giving out a play on every show, but you're getting, I hope, top-notch information. I think in a different style than a lot of the other shows, because I'm trying to mix in my market reading and my own personal reading of the algorithm, right? We can't always rely on those stats and trends, even though I love a good trend. I mean, that it'll send you on the way, right? If you get the right one. I mean, there's really not much else to look at sometimes. But you always want to look at personnel and statistics and all that. All right. Thanks, you guys, for joining me. I'm going to get into the previews now. And that's how we'll cover the baseball. I mean, we could go into what's going on, but with most of the teams in action, most of the hot teams in action, it's not a full card of Major League Baseball today, but some huge games as we play it down here. Let me see here. Make sure I got those graphics right is what it is, because there were a couple of games that was just breaking. I'm going to have to type them in as we go along. I think we knew the matchups, but Just didn't see a line yet. We didn't do too bad on those, but I lost a premium with. Remember, I was spouting off about the Mets, right? And saying I got the doubleheader completely backwards. But those are double headers for you. And oh, I guess I should mention also one other note before we start the baseball would be the suspended game with Detroit. That might be our Detroit and Kansas City coverage right here, right? They got to play a completion of a suspended game first today before they play their regularly scheduled game. Ragans and Gibson Long in that game. And man, Cole Ragans is pitching very, very well. I didn't even make a graphic for that game. Take the Royal. I'm gonna take the Royals here as my first play with Cole Ragans, right? I don't know, maybe I could save him for a premium, but Cole Ragans is definitely one of the best pitchers in the league over the last several starts here. A great acquisition by the Royals, and I would think, especially if the price is down here reduced to a pick 'em. I should have made a graphic and gave out Cole Ragans here, but they do got to play a completion of a suspended game first. Yesterday, I think it was there. It is right there, 4-3, 4-0, fifth inning right now, and the Tigers are a $2 favorite in the game currently, and the total is 8. So there, that perfect. I knew. Hey, the first time I've had the live scoreboard work out for something we've needed. Just a prop out here, but there it is. I got that score. I didn't even know. I thought it was 4-3 actually. That's how interested I was in that game. But probably throw something down on it now. All right, here we go, you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We'll start. I'm not starting with Major League Baseball, you guys. Unless you want to. We're starting with the NFL. Yeah, right. Well, then that's the other thing. And remember, I said on a previous show, I said, oh, you know what? Most bets are going to be scratched. But in the newfangled, I'm so old, and I must have been out of touch for a few years. And also was in California, and maybe here, where Las Vegas, where the rules are actually a bit antiquated. They might claim to be, and I'll always say it's the sports betting capital of the world because this is where it all started, right? But or not in the modern era. But the rules are antiquated, and Las Vegas has to, or maybe as it turns out, Las Vegas actually might have it right. I think some of the big books they might be able to overcome like DK stuff by offering those same game parlays and all the bonuses that they do. They've overcome a lot with a huge volume. That's one of the things. But we hear so many stories about some of the books balking and limiting players and things like that. Maybe the way Vegas kind of keeps it still a bit tighter with their gaming commission actually might be the safest path at this point, given some of the things we've seen, even books kind of giving up already, right? We've already seen some companies, go into the business and say, you know what, maybe a little bit tougher than we thought, or maybe the stranglehold of FanDuel and DraftKings is just too big to overcome already. But I would think if you continue to do business the right way, Circus certainly thinks they're doing it the right way, and they'll tell you so. And I like to believe that they are right as old school bookmakers. But again, like I said, used to be where the game if it wasn't completed within the one day, the bet was just voided. But now they'll just keep it open. All right, here we go. We're starting with National Football League. Who am I kidding? What was I even thinking? Now we'll do the rest of the football at the end of the show. But get ready, get your pens, pencils, scorecards ready, and your picks. And I want to see them in the chat here with the games tonight. Or not. Remember, I'm only giving you one pick off of these because the other is going to be a premium pick in the game tonight between the Packers and the Lions. So I'm not going to, insult you guys as far as that, what's going on with the overall feelings of these teams. I mean, we think that Detroit, obviously, just great momentum right now. Remember, both teams are 2-1 still coming into this game. For whatever you want to think about how the stock of the Lions has continued to grow, if you will, a little bit. And I think the narrative of the Packers' injuries is certainly legitimate. They do have some key players out of this game, including a couple of offensive linemen. So that, but they have some players expected to come back too. And two key offensive players, major offensive players that really may have hampered their offense, quite frankly, in the last game, despite the great comeback. Remember, if you've been on the show with me, I'm pro Jordan Love. I think it's just the Packer way. He'll be, here's the thing: for going 2-1, they're still trying to. Jordan Love's still trying to figure, and even if he's been there for, even if he's been here for these years waiting. The action's live now. He's still trying to figure it out. Now he gets Jones and Watson in there today. Jones might not be fully ready to, get fully up to, maybe he will, playing at home. That's the way you want to go. Hey, my survey of the professional cappers out there, kind of peeking at their premium plays a little bit from what I've seen. And a huge survey is what I've taken so far, looking through the service play forums a little bit. So I don't know, it's not down low information, but I'm sure I want you guys to know. I mean, I want you to ride with me. I want you to think I'm going to be right each and every time. And well, I don't know, I should have went over the NFL records. I will on my premiums. And I'm pretty hot. I think I might have some of the best records on any of these multi-capper sites so far in the NFL regular season. I know there's two guys that are right there with, and the percentages are. I'm a little high volume. I know that, and I have an extra loss or two that. But for me here, I'm going to be. I'm already. I think you can get a clue here. I'm going to be on the Packers, but handicappers across the industry, it's not as dominant as you might think. And maybe that's why I feel that's pretty good. Cappers, there's enough cappers on the Packers. It's kind of split down the middle, quite frankly. The steam did come in. The widely reported steam came in here on the Lions in this game. So they've moved to the favorite here in this one. That's another storyline. I mean, should I discuss it, or is it something that is pretty much the gambling storyline, is that the Lions are never favored in Green Bay. Did Matt say it in the chat right here? What did he say? Well, winning there is tough enough too, right? And the Lions have been a road favorite here in the past, before Rodgers, before Favre. They were a favorite one time, I think against Don Majkowski. That's how long the Magic Man was quarterbacking. I think last time the Lions came in as a favorite in this game. So it's understandable with the momentum of they're really good. They are really good. And but I think the Packers right now, I think because of the Rodgers, the Joe fan, right? And look, I'm not coming out here to say that Jordan Love's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league or anything, but I think he's going to, continue to be fine and improve. I think the Pack, prime time unders, Ray. I could always go into that too. And it's not just me, right? I mean, everybody knows I'm going to be screaming about the under here. Not only, right, because we can go into the things that I continue to talk about here on the show as well with road. Okay, prime time, we know. Okay, road team favored. There's another checkbox. Division game, outdoors, on grass, at night. High total, 46 points. Well, the Lions got a nice, the Lions got a, nice passing game, right? I mean, there's no doubt. Packers can probably play a little defense at home. I mean, we know what we get with the Packers, right? So that's just the way it feels to me. You got Solo. He wants to go under. And there's M. Look says, give me Detroit and the under here. So he likes Detroit. Okay. Okay, well, look, I mean, here, that's a great thing, a great point. I mean, and you get those Green Bay feelings, but is it so much the brain says, take the Lions. And look, it's been impressive. It's good to see. It's awesome. Could be also a very close game, right? Could be right down the wire, field goal type of situation, something like that. So there's a lot of numbers that would suggest here, uh, those all those trends. Blake asks if Watson and Jones are playing tonight. They're both listed as probable. They didn't really give the so if you're listening to the official news cycle, Jones might not. He's listed by the I think by the report possibly as probable already. So that should be fine. Most were just relying on some quotes leading up to the game where they basically were players were just saying that Jones would be in there. So that does sound great. I probably would just like the spot here for Green Bay, and I think Green Bay feels like the more contrarian. Well, I guess you're going to be one, right? But I think Green Bay feels like the contrarian. They feel a bit contrarian all season. I think people are going to be quick to get off Green Bay, and yeah, you would expect some type of regression here. I would think without Aaron Rodgers now. So talk about Aaron Rodgers when we get to the Jets, but I thought he had interesting comments to say about the Jets' antics on the sidelines. So yeah, Look says they're down a starter. They might be down 2 starters actually on that offensive line. And yeah, Love, he is still trying to figure it out. No doubt about it. And no doubt. So talk about those trends. I want to wrap it up in a way, but this is just such an interesting game, though. But Detroit, they've covered in 10 straight divisional games. Now, remember, Detroit's kind of been an underdog quite a bit until recently. Now, we know division game. I mean, that 10 straight divisional games, that's basically just a little bit over a season. So over the last year. But that's when the Lions, I think it's safe to say the Lions' resurgence started before this year. They were already kind of coming on, right? And it's only continued to grow. They feel like they're still going up. But division game, Packers still getting disrespected to me a little bit. I'm taking the 2. I'm taking the 2 on the show. I'm probably, taking 3 and 3.5 and laying some heavy juice. I want the Packers, close game, division game, low scoring game. It's going to come down to a field goal, probably a good, exciting division game. Nobody's getting away in this one. Detroit covered the spread in 4 of the last 5 meetings between the 2 teams as well. So, and taking the money line. So, yeah, and just should be well worth the time invested tonight. So hopefully Jones is in there. He always gets off to a great start, and I would think if he is in, I don't know what our prop menu is going to look like, but I imagine it's going to be a lot of yardage props, stuff like that. But I wouldn't, if Jones is starting, if they show him healthy, he looks good, man. He might be ATD for me here. Someone's got to score the touchdowns, and he is Mr. Touchdown early in the season, no doubt about it. And St. Brown's been coming on too. Thank you for your picks, you guys. I think we'll move on. I'd like to talk about the game more. I think it's going to be a good one. I'd talk about the game more. All right. My official play here on the show is the Packers. Grab my premium pick tonight. I'll have it in a package of plays with some of the college games as well. Hello to Bo Dunn. He says good morning. He likes the Packers against the spread. I'm showing Bo's comments on the screen right now. And of course, you see his slogan there: bet, win, and pick up your bag. Thanks, Bo. You're doing a great job. All right. Nathan there, he put his teaser in the chat as well. All right, you guys. I think it's enough of Monday Night Football, enough for me. We got to talk about a lot of games here. So we'll keep the football discussion going, though, is what we'll do, and we'll move on to the college games before we get to baseball. Hope that's okay with you guys. It's not a brilliant college card by any stretch, and probably just touch on them real quick and see what you think about the games or give you some plays anyway. I like the games actually from a betting perspective, from a premium perspective. But again, I'm seeing the ball pretty big, right? I'm seeing the ball like a 12-inch softball right now, it feels like. So we'll just touch on the games and give you a play here, certainly, between Middle Tennessee State and Western Kentucky tonight. In a conference game here. Let me cue up the line. Let me cue up the current line, make sure I got it right, because I'm showing 6 and 60, and this one's kind of been all over the place. In fact, I'm showing right now one popular offshore book is currently at 6.5 for Western Kentucky now. I'd say the general window of the game has been between 7.5 and 5.5, but there were reports of the line as low as 4.5 and as high as 10 on a look ahead. Or was 4.5 a look ahead? I don't know if I have that quite right, but nonetheless, the line's 6.5 right now in this one. And that total at 60. Now, it is at the lowest point here right now. The steam came in on Middle Tennessee, so maybe it was off that high of 10. Middle Tennessee 1-3 so far, but they're 0-3 against Division 1A teams, and they've lost by they lost a couple of single-digit games, and they also lost by 49 points. Middle Tennessee 5-7-1 against the spread as a road dog. That's not that significant to me. Western Kentucky just 2-2. I mean, we know they have a pretty good passing attack, but man, 60 points, that's getting up there for me. I do know the handicapper's kind of sticking to the over here on this one, but I'm not so sure about that. I have a feeling Middle Tennessee might be able to stay here within a touchdown here. One thing Western Kentucky does extremely well, they are, they get turnovers. They grab turnovers. They don't turn it over as much. Their turnover margin is very, very good, especially at home. Western Kentucky 8-4 against the spread as a home favorite, and also 12-4-1 against the spread in conference games. I think it feels like too many points still, though. Middle Tennessee, there's no doubt they're not performing as well as they have. But man, I probably still want to take these points. Let's see what you guys have to say in the chat. I know it's an unpopular side. I think Western Kentucky is going to be the choice. WKU for Ray, Blake WKU, and Nathan here says under is his lean. Hello to Ron. Thanks for sharing the spreadsheet play of the day. Let me write that down. Thank you, Ron. Good to see you today. And here is Thomas Lewis on Middle Tennessee State. Okay. So Thomas is on with me. I want to take Middle here. I know there's going to be a little bit of discrepancy in the chat here, especially if I'm on it with Thomas, but I'm going to take Middle Tennessee here, just plus 6.5. Wish I could get a little bit more. I'm going to bend it up and take a little bit more. I prefer Middle Tennessee in points rather than buying it down and laying a little bit of extra. Bo says he likes the under in this game. I will say this. I mean, the total has steadily gone down. It opened 62.5 when we did that circa opening line show on Sunday. And it was immediately bet down to 61. Now it's at 60. It continues to go down. I will say the over has hit in 8 of the last 10 games in this series. And Western Kentucky, they dominate this series against the spread. They've covered 7 of the last 8. But just 5-3 straight up. So a couple of times in there as they were underdogs and end up getting the money. So it always has been a great spot here. Middle solos on Middle Tennessee money line in this one. How about that? All right, just give me Middle Tennessee State here. I'm going to take some points in this one conference game. All right. Temple and Tulsa could be our little feature game here, I would think. Both teams come in 2-2. The Owls, they beat Akron, but then lost to a couple of Power Fives, Rutgers and Miami. They really couldn't stop the run, but that was probably a little bit tougher than this one is going to be, I would think. Now, Temple as a road dog is pretty dreadful. 2-9 against the spread in their last 11. They're also 8-15 against the spread as an underdog. But this one opened 5.5 and has now moved to 3.5. The steam has come in on Temple in this one. Tulsa beat Northern Illinois 22-14, but they also got crushed by a couple of Power Fives. Tulsa, though, 4-9-1 is a home favorite, so that kind of collides with what we were saying about Temple. Now they do pretty well in conference, 17-13-1 ATS in conference, and Tulsa, they're kind of mistake prone. They beat Tulane in each of the last 2 years, 27-16, 44-10. Solo says Temple is bad. Go under in this one. Total open 54.5 and jumped up a point to 55 on some widely reported steam. Now Temple makes a lot of mistakes too. They give the ball up quite a bit. Of course, Kurt Warner's son is the quarterback of the team. He's a sophomore. This is his second year as the starter for the Owls. So, it hasn't been great times for Temple, but man, the moves on Temple, I kind of wanted. I thought I didn't think I thought the line would move in this direction, but when I saw 5.5, I was like, well, maybe it could be a touchdown. Maybe Temple is going to be a good side to look at. I think they are a good side to look at here, to getting a 3.5. I'm willing to take Temple in this game, and I have another close conference game, probably a low here. Darren's on the Tulsa money line, so these games might not be spectacular, but they might be close. Thomas says Tulsa first half. So I'm gonna try Temple in this one as a road dog here, getting 3.5 points. Pretty bad numbers against the spread. Not something I like to back, so probably not gonna. That's why it's not a premium here, but probably be involved in the total somehow. All right, Bo. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for Bo Dunn to stop by, and hey, check out Bo Dunn. Bo Dunn Sports. Check out his videos too. He always has great opinion on his channel on YouTube. Very consistent, getting his videos up. Does a good job. All right, one more game. It's going to be. It might be worth just because of the intrigue, right? You ever want to I don't know what the equivalent might be. Those some things you just can't turn away from, right? It's like a horror movie, or what are some other things that you want to see it to believe it? Well, Jacksonville State is going to play Sam Houston State tonight. And I don't know, could we see like a scoreless tie? This one? Jacksonville State is coming off a shutout victory. Sam Houston State has one of the worst offenses in 1A history after three games. So now I imagine things will go a little bit better in conference. I'm sure Sam. Look, it's sad because Sam Houston State's a pretty good football program in the past. Maybe the jump was a little bit too much. I you know how they're going about it. Maybe um, maybe this is what we were going to get after all. You don't want to see this necessarily. I mean, they have 443 yards in 3 games, and they've lost their first 3 games by a combined 65-10. Now, the good thing is Sam Houston State has one of the best defenses in the country, statistically speaking. Scores, well, a good defense. I don't want to get too carried away, but just trying to pump them up a little bit. I think the fact it's one of those teams that fortunately, the defense is so good that I can't make any excuses for them not being able to score any points, and it's going to be hard tonight to find the end zone. Now, they might do it. I mean, against Jacksonville State. Remember, Jacksonville State, they're new too. So this is their first season in 1A as well. So that's what kind of makes this intriguing, and that's why it feels like it's going to be some ridiculously stupid game that's going to end up with some score that doesn't that some kind of there's no scoregamis left in college football or anything like that. But it doesn't seem out of the question that the score could be 13-9 or 15-11 or 18-12 or something. Like what? And I think Jackson State will win. They'll probably cover. I'll take Jackson State. I mean, I don't want to lay 6.5, but I've got to here on the show. I hope they win 17-9 at least. Maybe it'll be 18-10, 19-10, 17-10. I want to kind of put it on a regular football score. In a lower scoring game, you're kind of going to, well, not always, right? Here's a little secret, you guys, for in-game betting. And I don't know if it'll happen tonight. But it's also true for pro. If you get a legitimate safety anywhere in like the first several minutes of a game, just bet the under. Just bet the under live. It already shows that like a real safety has happened, especially if you were teetering on it and you thought it was going to be a defensive game and some safety comes out of the blue. A real safety, not a hold. I mean, quarterback or running back gets tackled in the end zone, the defense gets all fired up. You're like, oh man, this game's under. This game, and it's 2-0. Just bet the under, even if it's 31. Okay, so Jacksonville State, I'm gonna take them laying the points here. I think they could shut them out. They could win 17-7. They could win 24-7, and you still win. So. Remember, Jacksonville State's coached by Rich Rodriguez. Good or bad, think what you want, but pretty high-profile coach there. And they were already doing. You talk about they're already plus 10 in turnovers. So they lost. Remember, their loss was to Coastal Carolina. They did not cover the spread in that one. They lost 30-16, getting 13 points. Now Coastal. It might be a tad bit down, but remember, Jacksonville State, new entry, Coastal, pretty good program. They still hung in there in that game. They already have beaten UTEP. They've beaten Eastern Michigan, and they were, pretty much crushing 1AA over the last couple of seasons before getting in here, 24-11, straight up, one of the better teams, certainly. So as far as Sam Houston State is concerned, they got a pretty good coach, been doing a pretty good job here. They were even better in 1AA. They, basically 5 losses in 3 years. So really good team, really good defense, tougher level, but they're playing of like ilk here, and almost makes me want to consider them, but it just seems like such an epically bad offense here that maybe Jacksonville State is just a notch ahead. I'll take them laying the points. Privately, I'm going to make sure I'm laying under 6 points. But on the show here, I'm going to lay 6.5. And it's a free play on the show. All right. Did you enjoy that game, everybody? Thomas Lewis on Jacksonville State. Here's Solo going to buy it. He's going to lay 9.5 with Jacksonville State at plus 130. And Uh, Nathan talking about the line move in this game. Yeah, that's the way I saw it as well, Nathan. In fact, when we opened that Circa show, they were -5 when they'd open at Circa. So I don't know if you've seen that. Anybody want to see that live show that I did on the Tony's Picks channel? It was recorded at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific, where I give out the lines as they open and then the current line move at Circa within just a few seconds, really. Probably 5-minute delay. But seeing how those first hits came into Circa, which has the largest opening limits. That's what they claim, and I don't think they're going to lie. They're like the most publicly out there book. They'll just challenge, like, all right, does somebody else have it? Let us know. We'll probably go earlier. All right, here you go. Solo Sam Houston won't score. Nathan says go under. Let's get it now, right? Feels like it'll get steamed here. It hasn't. I don't think it's gotten officially steamed yet to the low, which I don't know. It feels like that could be coming. I kind of want to take a peek here and make sure I didn't miss the move. No, there's been no widely reported move here on this total. You're talking about the move. Look, it opened 39.5 when we did that Circa show. I already was drooling at that point. I haven't even released it. Ray Otachi, Jacksonville State. We know what he means. Here, I keep saying Jackson State. I think we know the difference, but we know who Jackson State is. They've been doing a nice job. You knew it was going to go down a little bit after Coach Prime left. Some people say don't call him Coach Prime. Try to be more official. Call him, Coach Sanders. Thanks a lot, you guys. That's college football tonight. I'm on Jacksonville State. Appreciate your contributions. Let's go to baseball now. And I still got NFL coverage still to come. Some of these games, what are you going to do? We're going to, like I said, we're going to skip that Kansas City-Detroit game. I think I've already gave out a play. I think I gave out a play there. I think I'm on record with Cole Raggins in game 2. The one suspended game starts first. Make sure we're getting it right, though. Game 2. All right. Let me cue everything up here with the odds and my notes. See what we can do here with the Athletics and the Twins. Yeah, some of these games aren't going to mean quite as much. I guess the Twins, I don't know they're even tiebreaker necessarily here with the range. I think the Twins, right? Pardon me. The Twins' status right now is just basically clinched the Central Division. So not much to play for in this game. Maybe I'm listing it also as a day game because to give you some, maybe we could have some daytime action here in this one with the Athletics and the Twins. You got a 275 favorite here with Gray going against Medina here in this one, and I would guess that this probably is a pretty good price point to try to get in on Oakland here in this game. I mean, that's probably the direction I would actually look. Medina isn't anything special, but Sonny Gray, how long could he really go in this game? How interested are they? I'm starting to see starters get pulled after reaching just 70 pitches at this point. Gray's been real good. There's no doubt about it. 1.7 ERA in his last 6 starts. Twins are 10-4 in their last 14 games, but it really feels like right now it's starting time to wrap it up a little bit. So probably grab 2.5 runs, but here on the show, I'm just going to give out the A's plus 1.5. Look, I'm not shy about laying the number with the Twins. We did it yesterday, and they covered that run line, so we got it right. But here, I'm going to take the A's. I'll probably grab 2.5 privately and just lay a little bit of chalk here, but not sure the Twins are going to get a blowout victory necessarily in this one. Gray's got a 4.66 ERA against the A's, so Yeah, A's are dismal. They've lost 11 to 13 here down the stretch, and the Twins have done a nice job. But I'm just going to take the A's here. I figure there'll be some volatility in this one. There'll probably be some offense as well. And don't know if you guys are too interested in this one. Nathan says the Twins have owned the A's 7-0 here on the season series. So, yep. Hopefully the Twins get it rolling here. It's got to be certainly a pitch count on Sonny Gray. We'll note that the Twins have actually lost 10 of his last 16 starts. Yeah. Oh, Nathan. Yeah, free play here. Like I said, I went Twins yesterday. I'm just taking the A's today, and I actually like them plus 2.5. But on the show, I'm sticking to 1.5. Nathan's got it as a blowout. Twins continue to roll. And I like that some of these teams are playing well with nothing to play for. I mean, look at the Twins; they have a 3-game winning streak right now. So and look at the Orioles as well. So the Orioles have something to play for, but again, I mean the Jays are winning too. All right, let's move on. I'll take the A's in this one on the run line here. Better make sure because as Nathan said about the season series here. Man, the Twins must just really despise the A's. Well, I guess I could also mention Sonny Gray was on the Oakland A's for like five seasons. That also is something to note anyway. Well, here's a pitching mismatch with the Cardinals and the Brewers here with Corbin Burns. Looks like Ramon forgot to finish the graphic, so I better do some typing for Thomas. In fact, I'll just update it here. I'm showing Burns is up to 215. The total 8/25. Let's see what it was previously, since I have it written down here, but I didn't have it. That feels like it was a 9 before. Oh gosh, hold on a second. Is this total correct? Now, I know we do have a write-in game as well, and I will touch on a write-in game as well, and I will touch. Is it a write-in game or let's see here? Did I might have went out of order. That's all. The game with it was a write-in game, right? The Arizona and White Sox game. Oh, that was. I didn't have the. That was one of the ones I didn't have the pitching matchup. Thanks, you guys. Sorry about that. I do see though Jarvis here is going to the pitcher for Arizona, so maybe we can update that and get to that game in just a moment. All right. Like I said, didn't have all these games quite ready to go here because the teams didn't. Oh, let's talk about this one between the Cardinals and the Brewers. Like I said, pitching mismatch here, but I think Burns, you're going to have another pitcher that could be coming out early in this one. Burns, minus 215, took steam here, widely reported steam in this one. And Burns has been just terrific of late. He has a 1.93 ERA in his last 2 starts. And beyond that, he was, had some ups and downs, but I think right now in postseason form, I would call it. The Cardinals have lost 6 of their last 8. Hudson has an ERA near 7 in his last 3 starts. We'll say this for your Nerfy fans so far. So Hudson does have some pretty bad numbers, but he has not allowed a run in the first inning in 11 starts. Burns, actually, for as good as he is a notoriously slow starter. He's given up a first inning run in 9 of 31 starts. But just thought that was interesting to note that Hudson, and I'm pulling for Hudson. I do think he can work through this and return to major league pitching form. Not saying that that's the case right now, but I hope that he can return to form, and I hope he gets into it. I hope he can get into it here with Burns for a few innings. Cardinals have gone under in 5 of their last 6 games. Brewers have gone under in 7 of their last 8 games at home. The steam came in on the over, and now with this number, I don't know, it looks like it's continuing to go higher. So I'm going to take the Brewers here on the run line as my play here in this one. But maybe Hudson might have something for us today and can get into a matchup here with Burns, at least in the early going. I don't give out first fives here, but it could. Hopefully, it's a pitcher's duel early. I'd like to see it. Hey, we got day games. We got some day games today. Boys, hello. Wait a minute, Thomas. You're going to change uh, from the uh, hat and the blue vest? Yeah, I don't know if you should do that. Darren here, Brewers and under. You know what mine is on YouTube is the Tony's Picks logo. I'm so married to the company. Brewers and under for Darren. And JPZ, the nothing to play for angle with a grain of salt on playoff teams. Teams heading to the playoffs on a losing streak don't do well. Thank you, Peas. Nice to see you in our chat. I've seen you chatting away in some other chats. Something you said, oh man, I wish I remember what it was. I don't know if it was yesterday. Was it on the drive-through? You had another very poignant remark. And I was actually going to comment in the chat and say it, but now I was busy or I was watching something or preparing something and I couldn't do it. People think I just sit in chat rooms all day chatting, which is kind of true. Some of the losing teams are playing very, we just had those comments on the Twins and the Dodgers, right? Of course, I point, and the Braves are doing it a little bit as well. There's a few teams where things were really sticky and sweaty, and they've clinched, and now they're looking really bad. Oh, you guys, I just want to mention something here. Nothing against Nathan was talking about the Twins athletics game, and it was talking about the line, but it looks like the A's are actually getting hit with some steam here today. Don't want to say maybe there could be some resting situations. We know Minnesota has some players that could use some rest on offense. I do see a steam move. My play was before that, and I'm here just to report the steam, right? I mean, that's kind of what I try to do, and I don't just make it up. It's not something because the line, hey, this team got steam, because I'm telling you right now that the screen is lighting up, um, Oakland numbers on red. There's a little bit of buyback. It's just a little subtle buyback, but it's across the market right now a little bit of steam coming in on Oakland. Not a big panic move. I'm not saying I'm right because I took Oakland. I'm saying if you want the Twins, wait a little bit. But just want to mention that right there because it just pops up on my screen. Anytime there's steam, this is the type of work I'm doing for you, right? When you follow me or subscribe to my service or whatever, is I watch the market, and but when it comes out, and sometimes I put it even in our Discord as fast as I can. Sometimes it's too late to react, but you deserve to know. It's not just some random occurrence. I'm really reporting to you the information here. All right. Let's see. A few more comments here on this one with Hudson. And it's not for everybody watching the market, but the fact is the line is moving. I'm not telling you this market move and that market move and everyone's talking ticket counts and that. I'm just telling you, right and win if I can, especially on the air here. Since we've been on the air, the White Sox took some steam too, but I wasn't, it just wasn't part of the, program necessarily right away. But I add it now. So let's talk about that game. All right, a few more comments here. Thanks. Yep. Yeah, Peasy, thank you so much. Mindy's got her own show. It's been hard for it was pretty devastating, but I get it, and really glad that she's doing that because really we love having more content here. She's obviously very good at it, and it's a good format with her sister and all. They're pretty solid on their capping. I mean, the numbers kind of prove it, right? She gives out a lot of great information and winners. So that's all we're looking for, and we're looking for more of it. So that was the only thing. No reason for me to get in the way of Mindy's success. I mean, there's a need for more women doing that kind of excellent work in this industry, and to showcase two of them really is really awesome. So I hope it's actually great for her and her sister. I think it's wonderful. Uh, like I said, I mean, how many women really are there that are getting on the, whether it be on some of the network gambling shows or the YouTube shows? Not a lot. So, okay, that's I'm not even supposed to comment too much, but I can't help myself. Okay, I really have positive things to say, despite uh, the how it looks aesthetically to everyone. Okay. So let me at least get this game updated here with the Diamondback. Now that I see the line here, I was going to just ignore the game, actually. I thought the Diamondbacks might be a little late to market with their announcement. I think the fact that Jarvis is in there maybe shows that they are. But they're still going to be a big favorite here. The pressure is on. I don't know. Is it disappointing that they have to rely on a pitcher? Is Jarvis just an opener here? Against Tuki Toussaint, who, Toussaint, like I said, he was not necessarily a free agent pickup. And I think I quoted it wrong. I think I said, oh, he was on the Braves, but I think it was actually the Guardians took him and then to the White Sox. I don't even know at this point, but he's not totally just a free agent mopping it up. There might be a future beyond this season. Well, I'm sure there is. Going to try to, but just success wise for Tuki Toussaint. Nonetheless, the Diamondbacks are going to need this game, no doubt about it. They've won 8 of their last 10. They're still in a hot battle. They're certainly can feel pretty comfortable here right now. 2-game lead over the Cubs in Miami. Remember, they'd have to fall behind both of those teams not to qualify for the postseason. So Toussaint, 1.59 ERA in his last 2 starts. The White Sox have gone under in 11 of their last 15 games, while the Diamondbacks have gone over in 9 of their last 13. I do have to take just a little peek here and see if anything has transpired in the markets here with this game. I'm showing the opener came out at about $1.48 on the consensus and is now up to $1.67, and one book at $1.75, as high as $1.75 here on Arizona. I mean, you're obviously going to pay a little bit of a tax as well. I mean, we know the White Sox are pretty bad. They've actually won 4 out of their last 9, which doesn't sound good, but for them, I guess that's pretty okay. So I don't know. It feels like runs a little bit here. Boy, uh, move is the moves on Arizona pretty stiff here. Man, could you really lay Arizona some chalk here? While they do need the game, the pressure is not totally on here necessarily in this one. This one is a write-in game because remember, this series just eventually got pushed back a day because Arizona had to stay in New York to finish their series up with the Yankees. So they were able to push everything back and take this day off. The score yesterday was 3-0 Arizona in that day game. We did give you a premium winner on the under in that game. So far, there's been just a little bit of steam on the under, but even more so here on the reported steam on the White Sox. Maybe that was down from the 175. Man, you really want the White Sox? Arizona breezed through them yesterday, 3-0. Could I just be chalky here? I'm taking some pretty weird dogs. Could I just be chalky here and lay this $1.65? What are you guys up to in the chat in this one? And we've got Ray going under here. Yeah, watching. I went under yesterday as a premium. I felt like I didn't only went 2-1 with the premiums, but that game felt like from the first pitch, it felt like it was going to be an under. And Solo likes the over in this one today. And Thomas says Diamondbacks for sure. Yeah. Sometimes the momentum is just a little bit too, but I'll just lay $1.75 as a free play. That's what I'll do with the Diamondbacks. Again, I think I think if I have to consider, Jarvis here in this situation, that is going to be, um, I would guess, an opener here in this one. So that's okay if that's their approach. Yeah, Jarvis, this will be his first start. He does go an average of 2 innings in his 9 relief appearances. The numbers have been pretty good so far. So he'll just be in there for a few innings, 1 or 2 innings, and probably see where they stand at that point. Looks like we're all on the Diamondbacks here. Just tough to lay a dollar set, even in this situation, right? Yes, the Diamondbacks trying to move in on clinching a playoff berth. They're going to do it, barring a total collapse. So they're considerably better, than the White Sox, obviously. And the White Sox couldn't even produce a run yesterday in that game against BFOT. So that's got to say something too. Okay, got that one, Diamonds and White Sox. All right, I got another game where I didn't quite have the line yet. It was the Pirates and the Phillies. Here with Wheeler. Yeah, he's a $2 favorite here against Luis Ortiz. Now, that doesn't feel too great. Total is 8/20. All right, here we go. Pirates and the Phillies here. Phillies minus 210. And the total 8/20 with Luis Ortiz against Wheeler in this one. Wheeler is 4-0 in his last 6 starts with a 3.89 ERA. Wheeler been pretty good. He's favored quite often. He's not as profitable as we'd like him to be, but still, when you're 13-6 in your last 19 starts, and the Phillies closed the season very strong here with this 7-game winning streak now, 10-2 in their last 12 games. Great job here by the Phillies to solidify their position as the top wild card team. And I guess you got to throw them into the teams that we talked about with even the division. I don't know if we were talking about division winners or just teams that have, clinched. Look what they did yesterday. I was like, we're taking the Pirates. Phillies are drunk. And we don't want to call anybody a drunk. We know, baseball players like to have a few beers, especially after winning a division title. Well, maybe they sobered up during the game. Maybe they had some Bloody Marys. I don't know. But nonetheless, they came back and they came strong against the Pirates in that one and had enough offense as well. I was calling for an under. Totally just I mailed that one in. I was drunk. Not a great play. Phillies did a nice job, and they're hot right now. Ortiz has a 5 ERA in his last 17 appearances, I guess I should say. He's had 14 starts in there. Pirates, like I said, they continued to play well late in the season here. Now they have lost 3 in a row, but they still have won 16 of their last 27 games. Pirates have gone over in 6 of their last 8, and the Phillies have gone over in 7 of their last 11. Wheeler has pretty good numbers against the Pirates, 4-0 with a 2.13 ERA. That is one team that he has had success against. I mean, we know Wheeler can be a bit inconsistent at times. So Phillies is really spot maybe here to get a run line. They couldn't get the run line yesterday, but remember, they were only $1, $1.20 when we were on the air. I may have went up a little bit, but remember the overnight line in that game, and there was no pitching change or anything. They were a $2 favorite in that game, just like they are today. The situation, it feels like the same. Yeah, maybe there were some guys out of the lineup, but that's not necessarily going to change things for today. I've got the over for sure. I mean, I kind of want to go premium in this game. I want to go premium over. But so I don't know. Wheeler could be another starter that doesn't see his full term of pitches. And I think what's the line on the screen? I might actually have it wrong. In fact, let me refresh things here because I think there's actually steam coming in here in the last few minutes on this game on the over. If so, we're just going to have to give it out here on the show. right now. Well, yeah, there's some 8.5 unders out there. This one's definitely moving higher. There's no doubt the direction of this total. Like I said, I always try to give out the worst line possible, not the best. And then when you get to the window, if you've got a better line than that, then that should give you a little bit more confidence. Even I'll go over 8.5, under -115. I kind of like this for a premium, actually. Um, I like the football games. I might not water down my football with this, with some of this, right? But it feels like a game you can go a little bit stronger on. I hope there's a gauge. I mean, we could put unit sizes and everything, but I don't vary too much. But there's a pretty big difference between a September last week of September baseball game between two teams like this and a Thursday night football game, even though they're graded as one unit plays on our website, because that's what it is. It's Tony's picks. It's picks. It's just picks. So I try to put just my strongest games with the strongest plays and the strongest game. If it's a baseball game going to be on my card with some football games, it better be strong. Yeah, there might be a baseball game or two on there tonight, but not very many. And this game would almost make it. This over here, but it's not going to make it. I'm going to give it out right here on the show right now. Maybe because of that total moving over. I was already looking over. I only got the line since we've been on the show, so I really hadn't been able to even process it. But if I would have seen that 8 over 20 without this steam to 8.5, probably would have stayed in a more potentially a premium. The move actually gives me increased confidence. It is a widely reported steam move, so there is a coordinated market move and a lot of money coming in on the over. You just have to pay a little bit of tax to go over. And you can find 8 over 20. You can buy it down to 8 over 20. And of course, it's not a bad idea to do so in a game like this. Thanks, you guys, for listening to me talk about my, philosophy of this one. All right. Oh, do we have Tyrese? Did I miss Tyrese? Okay, I don't know. Oh, Thomas is talking there. I didn't know if there was someone in the chat I wanted to say hi to. Phillies and Pirates over. Oh, Tom, I know what it is, Thomas. It's your autocorrect. I know that. You guys, Thomas is not. I would never. He likes to use the dictation. So anytime you see something that doesn't make sense from Thomas, don't think that Thomas and I have been sipping the morning coffee. There's an under here. Oh, I think he'll. Darren likes it under. Looks like he'll buy it up to 9. Right, Rick? We already talked about that. Newfangled style. Looks like we just keep these bets, and that's the way it should be, right? The game to completion. The only thing that really protects, though, against for bettors, so this is why maybe the old way is kind of better to a certain extent, is say you took your game, right, and you have an ace pitcher, and we've saw it a couple times this season where the ace pitcher gets mad because why'd we even start this game? I just had to come out after 2 1/3 innings of rain, and I can't go tomorrow. And now you've just basically lost Max, and you have to start tomorrow with your Rangers bet. And the score is 1-0, and you're -230, and here's Mr. Bullpen. So, and then to be, it's like maybe you could issue it back to the player. No, I guess you could never do that, but maybe. And I think even the stipulation now with the new books is it's got to be completed within 24 hours or 72 hours or something like that. A lot of books say it has to be completed at the same venue. For example, we've seen maybe it was the pandemic or where it's happened once where some games started in one venue and they had to play the last. I don't remember, it was a football game or something, but they had to play it we'll have to play it in Detroit, the last 3 quarters or something. What was that game? Anyways, crazy things happened in the pandemic, didn't they? The sports, after we got done with not playing any sports, and then all the empty. I was watching, because I go back and watch football games to see what happened. That's how I handicap sometimes. It's kind of like the mixed martial arts. And I was back watching some of the Pittsburgh games against Cleveland, for example, in the pandemic, because those were they looked like similar games of what was coming up. And it was weird with nobody in the stands, right? There was like a row of people with like the family. All right, over here. So I'm on the over. Yesterday went over. I thought, man, this one's going under. I'm going over. Pirates and Phillies. Red Sox and Orioles here with Sale and Kramer. Is that line right, you guys? All right. Uh, all right. Chris Sale, I guess he's an all-star here, huh? Chris Sale is he's not, look, I'll be the first to, as soon as Chris Sale's hot, ready to go, and as soon as he's mad, I'm ready to go. Chris Sale can't be ready for this game. And this is aren't the Orioles are, look at the position the Orioles are in. They're riding high. We've already talked about their success. And they haven't clinched the division yet. They're going for it. They've won 4 straight. They've got it in overdrive. They're $1.20. Let's call it $1.25. They should be at least $1.45. They should probably be more than that. I'm going to give out the under in this game because I think where I said maybe one game could make the. Come on, Kramer. Look, I know he hasn't been good, but he's been our guy. He's been our moneymaker all season long. He's been pretty bad over his last few starts. He's got a 6.23 ERA in his last 4 starts, but the Orioles are still 15-3 in his last 18 games with Kramer. The Orioles have won 8 of 11. The Red Sox have lost 19 of 26. Now, Chris Sale might rip the sleeves off his jersey and go out there and, just deal like Chris Sale. I think he's going to be just pitching to get his, like I said, I've complimented him at this point. Some of these guys are wrapping it up. We hear things, right? Whatever. That's pretty good for Sale. Like I was talking about Josh Hader. He didn't want to go in for a 4-out save because the Padres are, because he said we're eliminated from the pennant race. Well, you know what? You're not eliminated from the Padres are still actually alive by like the tiebreaker. If every team lost and the Padres won them all, they could still get in and they'd win by a tiebreaker. So Solis says get on it ASAP. I mean, are we just like, is nobody awake yet, or what am I? Here's the trap, everybody. So you guys make sure you take Kramer. I'm not gonna give it out here on the air, but Darren, you thinking of buying it down and going over, or you buying it down and wanting to get that plus money? Because I'm going to take the under in this game here and figure the Orioles are going to win this game in a very low scoring game, and the Red Sox might have trouble scoring here. They didn't score yesterday, right? At home. I know they were going up against Glasnow. Look, we went with the Rays in that game. I had under in pocket. Yeah. I'm gonna give out the under as my play here on the show. Please get my premium picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. All right. I don't spend much time on that one. I put it at $1.40. Maybe I should just update the line to my line. Let me make sure that total is right. Actually, hey, look, I better at least update it a little bit. I told you to go under, and I have it at 7 under 15 there on the screen. And I guess the early release was 7 under 15. I mean, this is 7.5 all over the place. And even though I say I always give out the worst line, let me at least give out the worst 7.5 because I got to be a little bit fair to myself. No one out there is going to find a 7 under 15. So if I'm going to give myself the worst line, at least give me the worst 7.5. If I'm going to, sometimes I even say I'm going to get, I'll 7.5. Even if it's under 25, if it's 7, it's going to be over like 25 or 30. So you're still already getting plus money on that. So I'll call it 7 over 20 even and take the even money. But I've got the under here in this one. Orioles win, low scoring game, might be a shutout. Kramer could probably give up something. He hasn't been terrific. And Boston's actually hit Kramer pretty well. It was 2 starts, and they hit him pretty hard. He's 0-1 with a 9.35 ERA. But Sale against Boston has a 14 ERA. So maybe it'll go over, but I'm going to take under. Sale's gotten crushed by the Orioles this year. 14.25 ERA in 3 starts. Doesn't change where I'm heading in this one with the total. I think you're starting, the perception here might be, and there are some high scoring, but look how many shutouts. There were the Red Sox got shut out, the Blue Jays got shut out, the Angels got shut out, the White Sox got shut out. Yeah, some of the games have blown. Maybe it might be a generalization. I don't know if I have any concrete on that, but it feels like some of these games are let's get them over with, right? Going to be great. No, Thomas, you just keep doing autocorrect. I think the mistakes are too funny. I think, and we're not making fun of you certainly, but I like to try to figure it out when I see an obvious error. So you just keep doing what's faster. That's what you do. Just keep doing the fastest. That's how you're going to get. That's how we get ahead. Nobody wants a crummy job, but because you always come back and fix something, right? On Twitter, on X, you cannot unless you pay $8. So I'm now paying $8. I've given in. I'm giving the billionaire $8 a month. I'm an idiot. All right, but I just got to have TweetDeck. You can't live without. I can't live without it. I guess I can't live without TweetDeck. All right, here's the Yankees and the Blue Jays. We've totally. A couple series, some of these last series, I have not been great. This one we've zeroed in and hit just right every time. Yankees and under. Is that what's going to happen today with Weaver and Bassett? Now, it's a little bit different pitching matchup, certainly, than the last couple of games. So I don't know if it's going to necessarily be Yankees and under here. And that's the crazy thing about it, right? Because if anything, we talk about the teams that are in coast mode. The Blue Jays should not be at this point. They've lost the last 2 to the Yanks. They have just a half a game lead over Houston. Seattle is 1.5 back. Toronto is in the best position of the 3 teams battling, but uncomfortable to lose the games at home here against a Yankees team that, used the motivation of trying to finish at 500. And now can they do it for one more game and say, let's finish over 500? I said, and we backed him, and I said, you know what? Get Weaver back in New York. That sounds like a good idea. Not some of the things they were going with this year. Look, I'm not saying that Weaver's even any, but you know what? 2 games and 2 good starts so far for the Yankees for Weaver. They won both those games. I imagine he'll go out there and have another pretty decent game here if Toronto all of a sudden is starting to, feel pressure offensively again like they have a lot of times this season. It's been a great season. For Toronto. But why do they have these struggles at home? And that bothers me. So maybe the Yankees can the Yankees are worth the price here, but Bassett, he's back to being Bassett again. They're going to need Bassett. If they're going to get in the postseason, they'll need Bassett to have, hopefully the pitches will be working. Gosh, I mean, sometimes when they're not, it's bad, but 2.57 ERA in his last 5 starts. This has been good, and at home he's been good. So maybe the Blue Jays can win this one. It's a terrible price. Who wants to lay this right now with the Blue Jays the way they're going? And the Yankees actually have shown some life in this series. It's too bad the Yankees are eliminated. Right, of course they're showing life. I'm on the under here in this one. If it was all baseball today, I'd probably go premium here with an under in this game. Even, you would think of Weaver, Weaver. But in New York, I think he's one of those guys, like put the pinstripes on, whatever. I don't care what time of year it is. He'll come out with a good effort here today, I think, Weaver. And, of course, Bassett. He's feeling the pressure, and he's performed well in these few starts. So I think he'll perform well again today. I'll go under on the show here. What is the total? 8.5 still? 8.5 at even. 8.5 at a pickup. So Comments on the game between the Yankees here and the Blue Jays. Thomas is going to be on the Blue Jays. Thomas talking about sending audio, right? Sometimes you send the text to the special someone and it has a mistake. You just leave it there, right? Like, I'm just, so it doesn't quite make sense. And probably the wrong way to play it in a relationship. Probably why that all my relationships are just text relationships. Here's Darren says take under in the Blue Jays, and Ray says, how about a Nerfy in this one, Ramon? Well, Weaver, I'm just going to measure him here. Yankees, they score a run in the first inning and about the average, 25% of the time. Bassett has allowed a run in the first inning in 9 of 32 games. And Weaver allowed one run in the first 2 games. I didn't take any notes beyond that, I'm afraid, on that one, Ray. I would say that, if you break down statistics as the card increases over these other sports, I want to come in here and make it look like I've got everything going, but some of it gets a little bit, especially for someone who does a lot of handicapping by hand. Yeah, I have a printout that I use, an algorithm and ratings, but also do a lot of old school work. I'm a little bit old school, so I didn't quite, and I don't bet the European Nerfy. It's got to be like overwhelming stats that come out of the computer. Like I said, that 0 for 11 was interesting. Oh my God, Thomas loves the under. I don't want to be dump trucking in a, late September baseball game, but I'm going to play the under here. Like I said, it would be probably a premium if this was a baseball card that I'm probably only going to get, 3 premiums out of because of the late season nature and a 11 game card. This would have been one of them, but not going to necessarily water it down because of the football. So I'm taking under here. Pretty strong play for a, late season baseball game. Let's just call it. Feel pretty good. I also feel pretty good about this one. Let's see what you guys think here between the Marlins and the Mets. Maybe this might have been the third premium. I'm going to give it out on the show here, I think. I don't think I'm going to get too involved after losing both games of the doubleheader also yesterday. You want to be seeing a series good. Everything, right? For me, the premiums, it's kind of like got to be all stars aligned. So hopefully you're seeing that in my record right now. Please check out those handicapper leaderboards. I think I'm hottest out of, I look at, there's about 2 dozen maybe multi-capper sites. Some of them are on the same network. They share the same cappers, not just our network, but I mean a couple other, so my numbers will stack up. They said I can talk about this on the air. In fact, the boss said promote it. And I've looked at those sites, and last NFL, last 30 days, I'm right there with the bet, on top or better than all of them. So a little bit of streak right now for Ramon Scott. Let's just talk in the third person, so I don't act too cocky. But pretty good run of premiums right now. And you can see my entire record at the website, all documented here. Okay, Marlins and Mets couldn't get this one right. That's why I had to talk myself up, because yesterday I said, let's go, let's go Marlins in the first game and Mets in the second game. Well, the Mets won the first game 11-2, and the Marlins won the second game 4-2. So screw these guys. But I do like the matchup here. I'm probably going to give out a play that I feel good about on the air. Luzardo has a 2.91 ERA in his last 6 starts. Pitching pretty well here. They're going to need Luzardo, obviously, if they get in. That's problem number 1 here right now with the Marlins. They are tied with the Cubs for that last playoff spot. They're probably not going to get involved with Arizona a little bit. Let's just say it's between the Cubs and Miami. Yeah, the Reds are a game and a half back. Tonight could be, one night could change everything. But there's only 4 days left, you guys. So that's a big factor as well. Tonight could really seal some things. Peterson in here, 6.41 ERA in his last 4 starts, but I've got this one as too important of a game. The total is 7.5 over 20. I'm going to trust Peterson and here to have a decent outing, actually, against the Marlins. I'm going under here as my play in the game. We did see Ron. Remember, so I don't know how he's looking at it, and I don't know if I can scroll back up fast enough. I do want to announce Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. Maybe Ron's still hanging out, and he can. He's so good to us. I really should scroll all the way back and accentuate it on the screen, but you guys have filled up the chat pretty good. It might take like 2 or 3 minutes, and it'd be dead air, which is probably better than me talking. Marlins money line here for Solo. It is, like I said, it is the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. Ron, pretty much known around these shows for putting that play out there as a pretty strong play each day, one play. So maybe we could leave it. I think he gave it to the one he gave to us 2 days ago. One, I know that. So maybe we can leave it at that for the side. He's nice enough to come. That's why I said, Ron, so he's got his own little niche. That's why when we started the show and with Mindy, I said, hey, everyone come up with their own little lock. You have the Scotch lock. I miss all the gang that, obviously they love Mindy, so they don't come around anymore. But those guys did a great job. And, I always want to say, hey, why don't you guys have your own little play of the day there with a little nickname to it. So appreciate Ron for stopping by, giving me the spreadsheet play of the day. I'll take the under in this one. And, like I said, I think it was going to be a premium. It's 7.5 over 15 now. Looks like there's a little bit of move on the under here, Marlins and Mets. And I will go under. These teams trending a little bit over here down the stretch. But all right. Let's see. I think – oh, no, we do have a few more here. Let me bring in the Cubs and the Braves. Can't leave these guys. Oh, God. The Chicago – is Scotch here? Are the Chicago crew here? Because, man, this has been guys, this has been tough for the Cubs right now with these 2 losses over the last 2 nights to the Braves. And the Braves just totally, making it look totally – I don't know. Were they gifted? They still are the Braves. Record-setting performances. We saw Acuna, his incredible achievement. You do have Marcus Stroman here in this one, and he's got poor numbers, but we'll see how he can perform. You do want to see Stroman be able to come back and contribute to the Cubs should they get in. Right now you figure they're. With them having lost 2 games, the Reds lost yesterday, but with Arizona pulling away. Miami got the win yesterday in that crucial game 2 of the doubleheader. They needed it, and for them to for the Cubs to basically, I don't know, they just choked these last 2 games. Basically, Braves have won 5 of 6. We know how strong they are at home. They've kind of they've gone over in 18 of their last 22 games. Now, Smith-Shawver is going to be starting here. And to me, it looks like the Braves have enough pitching. I know that, there's been some question as to how the Braves pitch, but down the stretch here, they've kind of just been managing the pitching. I think they're fine for the postseason. In fact, they might have enough, the depth might be just the way they end up, being competitive all the way. I wouldn't rely on the starters overwhelmingly when I think you have some decent, some okay pen pieces. So I don't know, Thomas, in this one. Let's see. Thomas says he might see the over here. God, I want to give the Cubs. The price is down to $1.40. Let me at least update that here. It just feels like the Braves, this is not a comfortable situation for the Cubs. Not been getting it done over these, they're the one. The Braves have nothing to, what can you say? The Braves have done all that they can do, and they don't, it seems like they're not done yet. So I'm on Atlanta here at $1.40. The Cubs couldn't do it in the first 2 nights, and you got Stroman here, 14. over in his last 6 starts. Braves have gone over in 18 of their last 23. Cubs have gone over in 8 of their last 11. It was 6-5 yesterday. So we actually gave out the Cubs on the run line yesterday, and that was a winner. But they lost the game, a game they need to win. They need to win this one too. It's tough. You're playing the Braves right now, and the Braves are, doing it with their eyes closed. They're doing it with their eyes open, eyes closed. All right, Braves lay the run line here and over for Solo. All right. And I think we do have the line on this one now. Let me update it here. Make sure we got the line for this last game. Not much, I don't think, going on here, but Dodgers and Rockies. I think we could at least talk about it because I don't know. You might want to try the Dodgers again here. The Dodgers are minus 205, and the total 11.5 over -1. Okay, let me maybe we can talk about this one a little bit here. I actually have 2 more, actually, don't I? The Dodgers here and Rockies, and 11.5 over 15. I got to look at a little market movement here with you guys on the air because of the late breaking nature of this game. Having just basically come to market since I've been on the air. Some reported steam did come in on the over. I guess I better grab it now. Look, I went under on a lot of Rockies games this year at home. It's been the way to go this season. Rockies unders at home, but I don't know if that one's going to happen necessarily tonight. Dodgers put up 8 runs yesterday. It still went under because the Rockies couldn't score, but bullpen game here with Yarbrough, Dodgers. They've started to go under here of late. They've kind of packed their bats in, and so have the Rockies. But Flexen is 9-2 to the over so far this season, and he has a 7.36 ERA in his last 4 starts. So like I said, for Flexen, it doesn't feel like his pitcher. He doesn't look like, to me, the type of pitcher that works in Colorado very well. So I'm going to give out the over here on the show. A lot of unders this year with the Rockies. Not today for me. I expect the Dodgers to come out and pound. We gave out the Dodgers on the run line yesterday on the show. Actually, we also gave out the over, and yesterday it didn't happen. But the Dodgers did score 8 runs. It's just that the Rockies didn't score. And Rockies, they've lost 9 of 10. They've packed it in. You wonder. Bud Black. We saw the great, they honored Tito. I guess we don't have Cleveland on the card here today, right? So we can talk about Francona there a minute too, and that was nice. But Bud Black, I mean, how long can you go? They love Bud Black in San Diego. They'd take him back tomorrow. I'll tell you that. There's an idea. Could that happen? Could they get rid of Bob Melton? And the Padres don't play today either, so maybe I could tie my Padres news in here. So I was talking about all the drama. It's even worse. The drama even got worse in the last 24 hours, apparently, with Melvin not getting. Then Melvin and Preller don't get along. They both probably could get fired, or maybe they could have to work together, and they don't work well together. Man, could it bring Bud Black back? Could they bring Bud Black back to San Diego? That would work right now. They would jump at that opportunity. If Colorado could fire Bud Black, the Padres would scoop him up so fast. I promise you, Bud Black's not ready to retire. And maybe that's what they could do. Hopefully somebody's watching. I'm sure it has not been already been thought about by thousands of Padres fans. All right. Rockies here, I'll take the over in this one. One more game here with Rangers and Mariners. It's big for the Mariners, obviously, in their situation right now. They are 1.5 games back after the loss yesterday, 8-3 to the Astros. The crucial game. Haven't got it right. in that last series. What makes me think I'm going to get it right here? Well, at least it's a new series. And in this one, you have Montgomery. He's actually been quite solid here with the Rangers' 0.43 ERA in his last 3 starts. But the Rangers are on the road here. That's where things get a little bit uncomfortable for the Rangers. They're holding a big enough lead still. They still have that lead right now over Houston. It's still 2.5 games. That is practically, it's time to clinch. It's time, only a miracle, really. I mean, Houston would have to totally turn it around here. So seems close, but it's not. There's only 4 days left in the season. And Houston's got only 3 games left, right? They're 87 and 72. And Texas, let's see, 160. They do have 4 games left, so that's why you got the half a game difference in the standings there. So must be a twin bill here for Hugh. I didn't look. Must be a twin bill, I guess, for Hugh, or a makeup game somewhere, or maybe the tiebreaker would explain that maybe they don't need. I should have looked into that. So unprepared here. Anyways, with Gilbert, 4.58 ERA, 0-2 in his last 3 starts, but I really like the price here on Seattle. If they're $1.15 and they're at home against this Texas team that, for whatever reason, the road, I know they're over 500 on the road, but doesn't it seem like for the last month or two, it's been a home and a road dichotomy here for Texas? Mariners are 7 games above 500 at home. They are just 6-12 over their last 18 games. And Texas, of course, had that winning streak snapped yesterday with that. They've won 7 of 8. That's what it was. Texas won that game 5-0. Yeah, but of course they did. That was our premium under, and we gave out Texas on the air. So we've got Texas nailed, and we are going with Seattle here in this one to beat Texas. Despite all that momentum, we're going to bring it back on Seattle here. I feel like I might be in the minority here. I feel like you guys might want Texas, but maybe there's nobody on this one. All right, that might be the show. Right? I think we got everything in. I appreciate you guys so much for joining me, and hopefully the winning for you continues. Hopefully we'll bring you more winners. Yeah, I'll try to give you a bunch of free winners here on the show, but my premium picks are over at tonyspicks.com. And just maybe I could take a moment. They told me, sell yourself. I almost took it to heart. I almost, was going to do an auction here and see who wanted to buy me. But really, they meant my plays over at tonyspicks.com. Take a look at this NFL record here over the last 7 days. I know I've got a pretty strong mark. 10-2, 10-2-1 over the last 7 days, and over the last 30 days, 27-10-2. And that includes, just because it's the last month, I think that includes the last week of preseason. There's like a couple of games on there because today's Wednesday. Anyways, I think it goes back 30 days. You tell me. We're 3 games into the season. Anyways, 27-10-2, whatever the case may be, my premiums in the preseason are premiums. They're just almost as serious as the regular season games. So 27-10-2 in the last. Collins right there. I want to talk about these guys too. 22-10 right there. These are strong records too. Joseph Schultz, 13-3, and Nick Bartini, 12-2, and Pravi, and Hollywood Sam also with 67% winners, and Daniel. So these are strong records, but I'm up there 15 plus units over at tonyspicks.com, and check us out over there. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. Click on the All Cappers tab. I'm up 3,600 units this year here on the website since January 1st. Dating back, they don't have they don't have a running 365 day, but I was very hot at the end of last year, particularly in college basketball. if this was a 24-hour, because college basketball is one of my highest volume picks. And since there's no picks listed in the system, I can't show you necessarily. You could actually go back and scroll through, but college basketball, I pretty much, oh yeah, I can. Let's see. Can't add it all up for you, but so here you see the college basketball numbers where I was up 4,300 units here in college basketball this season. And, just dating back to last year gives you great percentages for me, and a high unit count if you count the last 365 days in all sports combined. We don't have that. That type of counter on the site, but you would find that I'm even stronger than plus 36 units over the last 365 days, which really, no disrespect to my bosses, and I really never told, but to me, 1 year is a great sample, right? You have one exact full year to date. The world, that's how the world works, right? One revolution, and we all get older. So one, to me, in a way, one full year is like the ultimate the ultimate sample size for a handicap. Sure, you'd love to have 20 years or whatever, and I've only been on here this site a year and a half, but some pretty strong numbers. Take a look at these wins that are just kind of rolling in this week with my premiums. With yesterday, their little winning streak there. What's that? 8 out of 10, and then next page down, here's another. 7 out of 10. So 15 and 21 was a push. What's this? This is a 6 and this is a 5 and 5 day. Anyways, they told me I could spend a few extra minutes if you're willing to stick around to look at this. Here's a 8, 1 and 1, and these are just back in chronological order. So these are my results on these premiums. There's a 7, 2 and 1. So each 10 pay, they're all just winners. Just want to thank you for indulging me a little bit. They told me to prop myself up. There it is. And I also talked about, leading some of those other sites. So great cappers. I love all these guys, man. Believe me, they don't even know. I'm so fond of all these people and what they do. But appreciate you guys watching here on the Morning Steam, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. I'm here 7 days a week. Catch other live programming here on the channel. Mindy and Tiffany come along at 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific for midday plays. And then the drive-through with the Pick Dogs gang. Tony T hosts a team of handicappers from the site across the street, and usually get 6, 7, 8 plays over there from their crew, especially when you got a football day and all that. There'll be some great plays over there. And I hang out it's a simulcast. If you don't know what that is, that's an old term for when the program appears on like 2 different channels. So, of course, it appears on their channel, the Pick Dog, but it also appears on Tony's Picks. And I hang out in that chat room on the Tony's Picks side, giving out some late-breaking information or even some picks. So please join me in there if you're watching the drive-through. Of course, watch the Pick Dogs channel if that we want them to get views. We don't, but it is simulcast, so it's I don't want to say fair game. It's I think that's the point. Tony T, he's a great host. So check it out. Tony's Picks YouTube channel, drive-through 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific. Back tomorrow, more Morning Steam, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. This has been Ramon Scott.